India has announced that recent trials have demonstrated the country's capability to intercept ballistic missiles. In a statement released, the Ministry of Defense revealed that it conducted 3 consecutive flight tests on June 10th and 11th to showcase a multi-layered defense capability against long-range ballistic missile threats. The statement noted, the interceptors successfully engaged their respective targets. The systems are designed and developed with latest technologies to address the emerging missile threats. According to reports, the trials validated the AD-1 and AD-2 interceptor missiles, both key components of India's Phase 2 Ballistic Missile Defense (BMD) program. The ministry did not disclose the range of the target missiles engaged during the tests, which were conducted from Chandipur in the eastern state of Odisha. In a post on X, India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh stated that multi-layered BMD capability was successfully demonstrated. With these developments, India joins a select group of nations possessing advanced ballistic missile defense capabilities, alongside countries such as the United States, Russia, China, and Israel. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how India has entered an elite club with ICBM interception capacity. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The 1999 Kargil War between India and Pakistan marked the first direct military confrontation between two declared nuclear-armed states. Concerns over potential nuclear escalation emerged early in the conflict. On May 31st, Pakistani Foreign Secretary Shamshad Ahmad warned that a widening of the limited war could compel Pakistan to employ any weapon in its arsenal. The statement was widely interpreted as an implicit nuclear threat, signaling the possibility of nuclear retaliation should the conflict continue to intensify. Reinforcing this perception, the chairman of Pakistan's Senate reportedly remarked that the purpose of developing weapons becomes meaningless if they are not used when they are needed. Many analysts argue that Pakistan's successful nuclear tests in 1998 strengthened the military's confidence in its nuclear deterrent, encouraging a more assertive approach toward India and increasing the scope for coercive diplomacy under the protection of a nuclear umbrella. Against this backdrop, India initiated the development of an indigenous BMD system in late 1999. The decision was likely influenced by Pakistan's refusal to adopt a no-first-use nuclear policy, as well as the heightened risks of escalation exposed during the Kargil conflict, including the possibility of a broader nuclear confrontation. India's efforts gained further momentum after the United States blocked its attempt to acquire the Israeli Arrow 2 missile interceptor system in 2002. India's BMD architecture is built around a two-tier interception framework designed to counter a broad spectrum of ballistic missile threats. The first phase of the program consists of the PAD, Prithvi Air Defense, later also known as Pradyumna Air Defense, and AAD, Advanced Air Defense. The PAD interceptor is designed to engage incoming ballistic missiles at exoatmospheric altitudes, ranging from 80 to 130 kilometers, 50 to 80 miles, while the AAD interceptor provides a second layer of protection through endoatmospheric engagements at altitudes between 10 and 80 kilometers, 6.2 to 50 miles. The interceptors are guided by an inertial navigation system, receiving mid-course updates from the Swordfish Long-Range Tracking Radar, LRTR, before transitioning to active radar homing during the terminal phase of flight. Successfully completed in 2019, Phase 1 was developed to counter short-range ballistic missiles, SRBMs, and medium-range ballistic missiles, MRBMs, with ranges of up to 2,000 kilometers, approximately 1,250 miles. The second phase of the BMD program, which was the focus of the recent flight tests, employs the more advanced AD-1 and AD-2 interceptors. The AD-1 interceptor is designed to engage ballistic missile threats at altitudes between 20 and 120 kilometers, 12.5 to 75 miles, while the AD-2 interceptor is optimized for exo-atmospheric interceptions at altitudes ranging from 70 to 320 kilometers, approximately 45 to 200 miles. Once operational, this layer will significantly expand India's defensive envelope, providing the capability to counter intermediate-range ballistic missiles, IRBMs, and intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The technologies validated during the recent trials represent another important milestone toward the deployment of a comprehensive, multi-layered air and missile defense network. Previously, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, had stated that the system incorporates a range of advanced indigenous scientific know-hows developed across multiple laboratories, reflecting the growing maturity of India's domestic missile defense ecosystem. Ballistic missile defense remains one of the most technologically demanding military capabilities, often described as the equivalent of hitting a bullet with another bullet due to the extreme speeds, altitudes, and precision involved. Until now, India's ballistic missile defense architecture was primarily geared toward countering short and medium-range ballistic missile threats. However, the successful testing of advanced interceptors, particularly the AD-2, suggests that the system is evolving toward a capability that could also engage ICBMs. A credible BMD capability is especially important for India, given the growing proliferation of long-range ballistic missiles in its neighborhood and the country's adherence to a no-first-use nuclear doctrine. By enhancing its ability to absorb and defeat a strategic missile strike, India strengthens both deterrence and national resilience. India's BMD program appears to be progressing steadily. The country benefits from a highly capable space program, which has demonstrated advanced technological competence, including the successful deployment of a lunar rover. India is also believed to have established a network of space-based assets that could contribute to missile warning, tracking, and target queuing functions for its missile defense architecture. Supporting this broader ecosystem is INS Dhruv A-40, a specialized missile range instrumentation and research vessel designed to collect electronic intelligence and track ballistic missiles, satellites, and other strategic assets. The ship is expected to play an important role in supporting India's strategic weapons programs and enhancing the effectiveness of its missile defense network. Looking ahead, development efforts are reportedly moving toward a Phase 3 capability, which is expected to introduce two new interceptor systems currently known as ADAH and ADAM. The ADAH interceptor is being developed to counter hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs, a particularly challenging class of threats capable of maneuvering unpredictably throughout their flight path. Meanwhile, the ADAM interceptor is intended to defeat hypersonic cruise missiles, HCMs, which combine sustained hypersonic speeds with atmospheric flight profiles, making detection and interception significantly more difficult. If successfully realized, these next-generation interceptors would extend India's defensive coverage beyond traditional ballistic missile threats and into the rapidly emerging domain of hypersonic warfare. As missile technologies continue to evolve, the development of such capabilities will be closely watched as a key indicator of the future direction of India's integrated air and missile defense strategy.